I'm McCauley in Syracuse, New York, and I never tire of talking about the barriers to weight loss. Number 14, your own impatience based on your unrealistic conscious expectations, which then creates stress, which you respond to by eating. Patience. Let go the need for instant success or results. How the heck are we going to do that? We're going to talk about that Pray It Off group. Let me get to that one. I'm coming. Why is patience called a virtue? And the short prayer, Lord, give me patience, but please hurry. Or I want patience, can you give it to me now? Here's the definition of patience. I love it. It is a virtue which helps us, for the love of God, to calmly bear our tribulations and preserve serenity amid the sufferings of life. Wow. That is a powerful definition. And then it also calls patience self-control. This is a sermon by the Reverend Dominic Radecki. Loved it. Wherever you are, Father, loved it. Patience and self-control are very much the same thing. Did you ever think about that? Self-control, patience. You know, and what are our daily sufferings? He lists what he considered 5. The weather. Now we're sitting here going, it's beautiful. Oh, we got bad snow. But there are places where they have drought and they have violent tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes. They're not talking about little snow in the winter where the salt makes the roads the next day black. But if you're going down Onondaga Hill and you're on ice and you're going, help me Jesus, it is a little stressful. Also, number 2, the necessities of our weak human nature, fatigue, sickness, hunger, thirst. When I'm tired and stressed, I'm snappy. I want to eat. Those are things that push me towards the food. Here's the ultimate suffering, the sorrow caused by the death of a loved one, a grief which may last a lifetime. That is a huge suffering. How about this one? Pain, irritation, and frustration due to personality conflicts with others, otherwise known as work. Also, God makes use of the weakness of others to test and strengthen our virtues. We wish the heck he wouldn't, but he does. He tests our virtues by giving us tests. Did you ever see someone where they didn't want to do one thing and then it seemed like throughout their lives they were tested with that same thing over and over? Because God wants to strengthen us. Pain, insults, contempt, opposition, false accusations, misunderstanding, which often lead to mental anguish. Anyone here ever have any mental anguish? Any mental anguish ever drive you to the Doritos? Spiritual sufferings that one encounters in the service of God, such as spiritual dryness, scruples, distraction, temptations, persecutions from the devil. I got to tell you something. 6.5 years at Pray It Off. You don't think Satan has tried to do things to this group, tried to do things to me, tried to do this or that. And I always just say, you know, as soon as we get down to this basement, Satan can't get in here. It's a Satan-free zone. Also, the wise person accepts and carries his cross because it leads to eternal salvation. But you can also get some supernatural happiness in this life. And I try. Oh gosh, I facilitate this group. I do these articles. You know, when I'm, printing them out and doing it on Sunday, I'm like, oh, I'm so peaceful. It's so beautiful. I'm so patient. And today at work, I was like, I get so upset about things, and I'm like, let it go, let it go. And on the outside, I'm going, I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm not going to let this bother me. So no one would think it was bothering me, but on the inside, I go, maybe I'm having a stroke. Am I having a stroke? I don't know. I'm feeling a little dizzy because I'm holding it in. And then I'm praying at the same time, Lord, why am I getting upset by this? Do you ever do that? Do you ever have these conversations with yourself? I know you do. We need to be patient. And remember this, Jesus Christ assumed our human nature to share our wounds and our sorrow. Do you think anyone ever treated Jesus Christ badly? I think so. But at times we want to take the easy way out and give up. By a show of hands, who here has ever said, you know what, I'm gonna quit the Pray It Off group and quit trying to lose weight and never come back again? A lot of people have. I raised my hand. I was going to quit and just say, Gene, can you weigh everybody in and tell them I'm home on the couch feeling sorry for myself? But I did not do that. Also, do you think God could just abolish suffering and we could all just live with this beautiful Om all day long? That is not life. Suffering helps us endure it better. It makes us stronger. We don't want it, but it comes whether we want it or not. And it's all in how we react to it. We need to be more tolerant of others' faults, more forgiving, more ready to help others. That sounds so good, doesn't it? Oh, turn the other cheek. Be kind, be loving. And I read the church bulletin like I'm going to get a quiz on it every week. And there was, Wednesday was the feast of St. Teresa of Avila, and our granddaughter's named after her, and she was really awesome. And this was yesterday, was her feast day. And those of you who might have missed this in the bulletin, let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. All things are passing away. God never changes. Patience obtains all things. Whoever has God lacks nothing. God alone suffices. God alone suffices. Cut it out, put it there, and I read it maybe 20 times today. I probably could have done it by heart. God alone suffices. Sometimes we need to practice patience. It's the same thing. Patience takes a lot of effort, while being impatient seems kind of easy, doesn't it? That's the same thing as losing weight. And then it tells a little story at the end about during the French Revolution, a whole group of these beautiful nuns were condemned to the guillotine, and they sang all the way through the streets, Veni Creator Spiritus, and they never faltered until they laid their heads on the guillotine, one after another, and the other ones just kept singing that beautiful song to the last one put her head on that guillotine. Could we do that? I don't know about you. Hello? I can barely make it through a day of work without having a pity party. We just need to really find patience, work towards it. A prudent person foresees the danger ahead and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Are we prudent? Are we going forward or just reacting to things? Are we trying to gather all the facts before we make a judgment? Are we looking at our current circumstances and saying, I have it so much easier. I don't have Ebola. I'm not in quarantine somewhere. I'm not getting chemotherapy. I had many conversations with myself today saying, suck it up, Ellen. Your life could be so much worse. And you know what? I'm not impatient at all things. I am a very patient driver. I drive down the road, someone breaks in front of me, don't care. Now, the only time I'm impatient, though, is like that one time where I had to be at that place by 8:30, otherwise they'd lock the door. Then I'm like, But if I'm just going along, then I'm fine. I never have road rage. My whole life I've never had, that stupid idiot. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for them. Maybe they didn't get their license till they were 50. I don't know. My mother didn't. Now, everyone who's a bad driver, I think of my beloved mother. Because she didn't get her license till she was 50. She wasn't always, the most I think she ever did was 1,100 miles in 1 year. Was that it?
Yep.
And that was to go to Wegmans and back. Wegmans and back. I am patient because those drivers could be my mother. And the one thing we have to realize is God's timing. And I'm going to stop right there, Bob. And we're going to talk a little bit about